It's incredible how much easier things get to be when we pull back, we slow down, we allow ourselves to be still, we allow the chatter and the buzzing and the to-do list to fall away. We allow ourselves to delight in life and really soak in all the abundance. How much easier and clearer everything gets. The problem is we don't naturally do that because we have this programming that we've got to be more of this, be less of this. You do more, you get more. If you want more, you've got to do more things, right? We have all these things to do. We're so busy. And then there's this addictive cycle that it goes along with that. And we're actually making everything about 100 times harder than it needs to be in every area of our life because we are resistant to believing that there actually is an easier, a healthier, a more abundant, a more enjoyable way. And why not allow ourselves to at least experiment and believe that for a month? And that's one of the things I want you to really consider when you're going to be hearing the evidence of what's happened as a result of me planning, getting the nudge, like it was really strong. Like you need to go on a extravagant European trip. And I didn't have anything planned. This is not like it was March and I was planning. It wasn't April and I was planning it. And I'm a Virgo, okay? Like I'm someone who doesn't plan like a year in advance, but I'm pretty good about planning things. And it just got louder and louder to the point where it's like, no, I'm going to Europe. I'm going in June. And then there were lots of things that happened that were basically trying to say, oh, you can't go in June. It's sold out. This isn't going to work. Da, 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 da. And I just kept going, no, I know I'm supposed to be here in June. I'm trusting it. I'm supposed to be in these exact places. It doesn't matter what the cost is. And it was egregious. Okay. Like definitely paid the piper for it not being planned. But I followed that strong inner guide. I trusted that. And at the times where I was afraid of trusting that, I went, let's at least experiment with this wild thing because we've experimented before and you saw that big abundant payoff. So let's experiment with this. And then you can share it with all the people. And if it is a, colossal waste, then we'll also share that. So that's what helped get my mind back into the abundance zone with it all. And what has happened as a result are undeniable, remarkable receipts that we all need to be doing more of this more often. In fact, this is the best investment that you can make for the growth that you want in all areas of your life. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. There's two things that are hot off the presses that I don't want to hear any of you saying you didn't know about it and then it's too late because this happens every single year. You should have sent out more emails, Tiff. You should have let us know. I'm putting it on record that I'm making it really clear. The first thing is my summer abundance walks guided meditation series, that free gift for you. You can go right inside my show notes in the description here on YouTube. It's in the link in bio on TikTok and Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany. It's projectmewithttiffany.com/summer abundance. Okay. You need to be doing these. If you are resisting doing these, which you're supposed to be multitasking while doing them, then I'm concerned that what you're saying you want to call into your life, do you really want it? Because this is one of the primary ingredients in my secret sauce of how I keep myself in the abundance zone and stay there as often as possible. Like we're going to slip in and out of it, but the longer you stay in it, the more often you're in it, the results are undeniable. So make sure you go get that. Also, the registration is open for my once a year, 2-day in person mastermind experience. Now, let me read this to you. Okay. holy crap, it all finally clicked while being here. Now I know exactly how to share my offers in a way that makes them irresistible without any fantasy BS marketing tactics. What I've spent years trying to figure out, I got complete clarity in just 2 days at Tiffany's mastermind event. She she really gatekeeps nothing. If you can snag a ticket, do it. Best decision I've ever made in my business, maybe even my life. That's from Sarah Bellows, mindset and healing coach. Let me read another one to you. So you don't just think I'm like hyping my own stuff up. This is why this sells out. To think I almost didn't sign up because I couldn't see how this would help grow my real estate business. I trusted in Tiffany's realness and her receipts. Within 2 months after being back from her mastermind event, I have more home listings right now than I did in the last 2 years combined. And it's slow season here. This woman and her team not only are the most welcoming, genuine people, that's sweet, but really know their stuff when it comes to generating sales online. This is from Maria Gomez, who is a realtor. I wanted you to hear there's dozens more of those, of the results. What you are going to walk away from in these 2 days is a completely new relationship when it comes to money. You're going to get into that next level ZFG version of you where you're not caring what people think. Trying to get there on your own, you might not ever get there. It's almost impossible to get to the ZFG zone that way. And we have this set up for you to do it in a safe environment. And it's remarkable and so rewarding watching people step into that next level version of themselves. But you are going to walk away knowing exactly what you need to do strategically in your business to get more ideal clients buying your offers, fully customized, profitable content marketing plan so you can end 2024 making more money than ever in your business, a plan to expand your audience following an email list of people who are eager and excited to buy from you, uncovering your subconscious money blocks and how to shift them quickly so you can receive abundance with ease and a renewed sense of energy and passion and excitement in your business. This will truly be the most fun you've ever had at any business focused and mindset focused event. Now, the first 11 people get $1,000 off for my Money Move special. Those are almost gone. Do not wait on this. We're only have a max of 30 people at this event. It's oceanfront at an $80 million beach house in Manhattan Beach, California. You get to have your toes in the sand, hear the waves crashing, be it somewhere that's tax deductible because you are here to grow and expand your business and your wealth. Anyway, you'll get all the details by going directly to the page. I have it linked in the show notes. I have it in the description here on Project Me TV on YouTube, projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind, projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. If you have any questions that I did not meticulously answer in the registration page, of course, you can email us. You can DM me on Instagram and I will be happy to be straight up with you if I think that this is, a good fit for you right now. And no, you do not need to be a multimillionaire to qualify to come here. If you've been listening to this show since early on and you're an OG listener, shout out to you. You know that I really get lit up by travel, specifically like international travel. Like there's places I like going on repeat that I just love to maybe go and relax, but I like going to new countries, experiencing new cultures, eating different foods, really like immersing myself in that experience because there's no greater positive distraction for me. It brings me so much inspiration and motivation. I love seeing and being reminded of how unique and special and big our world is and all the people that are in it. And I would go on at least 4 very extravagant trips a year. That was normal until we hit pandemic times and that shut down. And I still traveled some places during the pandemic, by the way, but I think it was predominantly, I'm trying to remember where I went. I mean, I did like domestic US stuff, but I went to Mexico several times. I went to Turks and Caicos. Because I was not going to be trapped by that. That wasn't approved by me. Not happening. You will never trap me. And that's also why I am so motivated and verbal about you guys making sure that you make your own stack, right? You stack your own cash so that no, you are not dependent on any person, place, thing, job, or institution for money, for you feeling secure, for you feeling safe, for you wanting to be able, whatever it is, to get Botox or to go to Bali, right? Or to have your kid go to a top basketball camp. I don't want you ever feeling confined and trapped. And that's how I felt all growing up, which is what motivated me so much to make sure I created a life where I was never trapped by anything. And I never will be, not approved by me whatsoever. And now I make a great living helping other people set up their lives to be free, to have that option filled life. And I think that's why so many of us who want to be free, who don't want to be trapped, who don't want to be controlled. And I'm not saying there's people who like want to be, but there's some people where it's not as much of, let's just say, a trigger for them. When that pandemic hit, even though I'm an introvert and I'm a homebody, I want it to be by choice. I don't want it to be by force. I didn't like it. Not a good thing. This was not my best era. And when that was starting to let up, even though I, and I'm sure you did too, craved going somewhere, we wanted to like be out. I remember the first time I was like out in a even like a group dinner setting and we were being served at a restaurant. I was like, oh, it like felt so good. It actually brought me to tears. I had to go to another state to experience that because California can be whack as fuck about things. But it was so beautiful. So then when I started looking to go travel places, a lot of the places I wanted to go, it was a shit show. You had to jump through so many hoops to get in there. I mean, don't you remember they like wanted you to, you had to like quarantine once you got to these places or do stuff when you got back. And it just didn't sound good. So I waited and I waited and I waited. And then when I went to go book stuff in 2023, like Europe, kind of Asia, bigger type trips. I mean, for someone who's, based in the States, it was astronomical. It was $27,000 for a business class seat to Italy. And I was like, I'm sorry, but like I'll spend some coin and you'll hear about that with this trip. Like I'll spend some coin, but I'm also not going to be an idiot about it. And if something is egregious, I don't care if it's a lotion, a potion, a bag, a trip, it ain't happening. Like, and that was wild. I was like, there's no way that's going to come down. It's because everyone was just like so desperate to go. And so it's this classic supply and demand. And that's what's happened. A lot of people are blaming like the current economy and our shit ass president. And I don't care anymore. I'm just going to say it. We're in the hardcore ZFG era over here at Project Me. Like, I'm sorry. This is not like a political show, but like, if you're really like still a big proponent of having Biden run this country or even have an opinion on it from another country and you think he should be, I'm concerned for your I'm concerned for your your mental acuity at this point. But a lot of people want to blame it on what's going on, in the US and all of that. This has come out of the pandemic and supply and demand as well. I'm not saying there aren't other things that are going on with inflation, but it's also you had all these people who were basically trapped in a cage, whether they felt it, realized it, or not. And now we have been released. Of course, we're going to be animals. So going into 2024, I knew I am not going to be trapped by this anymore. I don't even care what the price is. I refuse to let that hold me back. I am not going to continue to not do the things that really light me up and exploring the world. And I'm not going to let anything stand in my way. The price of something, the economy, the supply and demand, whatever the hell it is, it's not approved, not allowing it anymore. So that's my first lesson for you here. What are you going to no longer allow yourself to be trapped by or held back by? For some of you, it's money. For some of you, it's like saying you're exhausted. Some of you, it's your family. It's the opinion of your partner. Some of you, it's the guilt over mom guilt. You have to declare that. I'm just not going to be held back by anything when it comes to money, any hurdles. Like, if I'm not available for it, there is always a way. What I say on here all the time, what I say to my team all the time. And there really is, because if you keep saying that and you believe it, a way will appear. Ways that you didn't even know existed. You'll end up seeing a road that you didn't see before, even though you've passed by this area a million times. And you're like, oh, I wonder where that route goes. And that's the route. You didn't see it because you didn't slow down enough. And you didn't train your mental algorithm to be looking for other ways and other possibilities. So if you get nothing out of this episode, that is a big one that's going to come out of it for you. Okay. Is that. So I'm curious to hear what your thing is. I am no longer going to allow myself to be trapped or confined by blank. And there could be several blanks. It could be your own damn brain, your own self-doubt. So I knew for a fact the travel's happening. We are restoring back to my luxuriating travel life, period. So we're in 2024. I'm taking trips. Didn't have any big trip. And by big trip, I mean where I'm gone for multiple weeks, going to different countries, et cetera, et cetera. And I knew starting in April, it was like, you need to go to Greece and Italy. You need to go to Greece and Italy. I've been to both before several times, but it was very clear. That's when you listen, when you keep getting crystal clear, and they could come in a form of a whisper. It could be in a shout. It could be in a, a normal tone of voice, but it's the clarity of the frequency. It's basically your next level version of you, your next level frequency of abundance. A pathway has opened, and it's a pathway has opened, and it's saying, hey, come this way. This is the way. This is one of the ways that's going to get you up here to this next level of your manifestations, to this next level of your abundance, to this next level of your growth. This is the way. A lot of us ignore the ways. A lot of us are moving way too quickly, doing so many things that we don't allow time for stillness and quiet in order to be able to hear our inner guide and hear our intuition and tap into our higher self. Some of you simply don't know how to do that. I didn't used to know how to do that. I didn't even know it was a thing. And it's something that you will be absolutely learning at my 2-day in-person mastermind event, October 1st and 2nd in Manhattan Beach, California. This is going to sell out. These tickets are going quickly. There's a maximum of 30 spots. First 11 people get 1,000 off. I don't know if there's any of those spots left. Then there's a VIP upgrade where you get private, in-person, in-depth coaching on your exact business and your exact mindset challenges and resistances from me, my ProjectME Dream Team, and world-renowned subconscious energy mindset healing coach, who's my personal coach, Brenda Johnston. And you're going to trip when you see how inexpensive I've made this VIP upgrade. That will never happen again. Like, that's absolutely insane. And there's only, I don't know how many people I know for sure the last time I checked, 2 people have bought those, and there's a max of 5. So there's 3 or fewer left. So make sure you go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. All in the show notes, link in bio, on Instagram and TikTok at Project Me with Tiffany. So allowing myself to know, okay, I'm getting this clear ping. And then what happened is, and I didn't start like searching hotels or anything like that. I didn't even tell anyone else. But because I trained my mental algorithm, now it's tapped in. Now it sees the pathway. It sees that frequency pathway. And I go, okay, I see you. I hear you. I'm not really sure where we're going with this. I have an idea, but I see you. So then I'm scrolling, and all these incredible like travel influencer people showing hotels in Greece, hotels in Italy, all start coming up. And then I'm talking to a friend, and then they're telling me about how, they planned this. And I wanted a travel agent, like a high end travel agent, because I hate planning, trip planning, hate it with a passion. I hate it as much as I hate packing. Not into it, not approved. I just want someone to do all that for me. Got that set. Everything was coming into place. It was like you're getting the chunky breadcrumbs from the universe. It's working, it's working, it's working. But then this happens. Then you end up getting tested by the universe where it looks like it's all happening. So you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. And don't think for a second I didn't dibble dabble at some point to see how much the level of like hotels and villas I would want to stay at. And also, I only fly international, like business or first class. Like there has to be a lie flat seat or I'm not going. It's not happening. I'm not available for it. And I've not been available for it for many years. Even before I was making all the money I am now, I still wasn't available for it. I'm just a points whore and I know this game. I have mastered this game. I am excellent at this game. That's why I say to you, there's always a way. It's like, oh, I don't have the money to fly like that. I don't have the money to stay somewhere like that. Don't make money the obstacle. There's always a way. There's always a way to make more money. You can't save your way rich. That's not a plan, not approved. Okay. I'm not saying you can't save your way out of a temporary rut or a small debt situation, but you want true wealth, freedom wealth, option level cash. You can't save your way there. There's a gazillion ways to make money. That's undeniable. Okay. And then you have to look at other ways that are possible. There's points. There's people that can't travel anymore or have gone through a divorce and they've inherited or they've gotten the divorce settlement, all these points. There's parents that people have that really aren't interested in doing international travel anymore. And they have a gazillion freaking points that someone can gift to you or transfer to you for a small fee. There's always, I know I sounded a little possessed there, but like I can't enforce this message enough. So then I started not getting the breadcrumb chunks. I started getting boulders put in the way, a snake in the path, a big holes in the ground, obstacles where the travel agent, I know for a fact she does not listen to the show, but I also kind of don't care if she hears it. This was not the right travel agent for me. Not at all. She needs to retire. I'll put it to you like that. Like a travel agent needs to be able to manage a lot of details, and you can miss one detail and fuck up someone's entire itinerary and trip and cost them a lot of money. And she did that on multiple occasions. Like the flight I wanted, by the time she got it to me, even though she took on my desire, my case, and yes, this was all being booked rather last minute. Okay. Like I'm talking in May and I'm going, and I went in June, like June 11th. And she knew that going in. So it wasn't like she didn't have to agree to take me on, but she was going to make good money off me because she's going to make commission off super high luxury properties, right? And all sorts of crap happened and it became really hard. And when things get annoying to me, like administer with stuff like that, I usually am out. I'm like, fuck this. This is too much work. I'm not going to now do someone else's job that's made more work for me. Now what I already knew was going to be a hefty price tag is now growing higher and higher and higher. It's getting to the egregious category and I don't do egregious. What the fuck's going on? This was all, the path was really clear before. This might be happening to you right now in any area of your life. It could be dating, it could be your health, it could be your business, it could be buying a house, moving, whatever it is. Just know that's part of it. You're being tested. Your faith muscle right now is how it grows, right? Like your muscles don't grow without resistance, right? You don't get triceps without resistance. You don't get biceps without resistance. You've got to have some kind of uncomfortable resistance to have growth. So this is where your faith muscle is being strengthened and made more solid is that you need to keep walking on this frequency path, walking around the snake, moving the boulder, trusting that it's going to be worth it, trusting that this is the right path or you wouldn't be called to it, trusting that it's all working out for your greatest good, even though the big, nice, easy, good dopamine inducing breadcrumbs have stopped for the moment. They'll start back up again, but not if you vacate the premises, which I wanted to do. And then I'd regroup for the night, pour myself a glass of wine and go, there's always a way. This is happening, period. End of story. Like, this is happening, period. That's another good one for you to use for any area of your life. This is happening. I know this is happening. This is happening for me. This is happening over and over and over again. So obviously we know it all worked out, because if you've been following along on my Instagram stories, you've seen the trip. And if you're not following me over on both Instagram and TikTok, you're really missing out. They're totally two different, all fresh content on both. And you want to be there. It's highly entertaining. So it did work out. It did end up costing me a lot more. It was $55,000. And by the way, it was $55,000 with me also being a points whore on top of it. Okay. So this actually would have been close to $80,000 if I didn't have also all of those points and miles accumulated all from pandemic times. Okay. Because I had a lot of stockpiling going on with that and a lot of spending and growth in my business that were on my credit cards to get those points. So this was wild. And there were many times where I was like, this seems crazy that I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. But again, I go back to trusting. It's not like I was being irresponsible. I do have the money, but don't think for a second, that's not noticeable cash for me. I mean, even someone who has a net worth that's 5 times greater than mine would agree that that's a noticeable amount of cash. But what was waiting for me, I knew what was on the other side was going to be good no matter what. But we always leave room for things to delight us, to surprise us, for the universe to make it even better than imagined. And that is exactly what happened. But I had to do all of this. That's why I'm sharing all these details. I had to do all of this and trust the path and keep going and spend an uncomfortable amount of money, even knowing that this was for my greatest good overall. This was way more than a trip. Okay. I knew that. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I need a quick getaway. And what happened as a result, and I'm putting them in my receipts highlight that I have on Instagram, and I'm sharing them in my stories. I've shared quite a few already, literally, of my bank account, of my investment accounts, of my, Stripe payment account, PayPal account. I made more in that 3 weeks that I was away, gallivanting, luxuriating, delighting in the European summer life, than I've ever made in a month period in the 16 years of me being an entrepreneur. Even with my first business that I still have, it's an 8-figure business. It's a digital marketing and branding agency in the sector of health supplements, doctors, pharmaceuticals, that kind of thing. Even when I was grinding away, and that business is B2B, okay, where you're like, anyone who's in B2B, when you're selling to another business, it's a lot more work and takes a lot longer to land an account. The accounts are generally bigger, but like, it's a lot. There's presentations, there's flights, there's meetings upon meetings upon meetings. Even with that business, never. And look at what that happened. All this happened to reinforce and show me this is the next level, Tiffany. This is the next level of abundance. Your next level of abundance might not be that you're making even more. It's that maybe you're making the same temporarily, but with you barely doing much at all. You see what I mean? So don't just look at the numbers on something, right? Because sometimes it's more about look how much I made and I worked so little. In this case, my next level is I've been expanding, I've been trusting, I've been doing the uncomfortable things, I've been experimenting, I've been spending when it would have felt safer to me to save, when it would have felt safer for me not to. Also, before I left, I invested in another tech startup company and I invested $300,000. So I also have invested in some areas in growing ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, the Business Academy to another level. So I'd spent probably around $500,000 even prior to booking this. So I also had that on my mind. Well, you just spent all this money. Like, now you're going to spend even more money. And then I started going when like this this travel agent messed up stuff and I couldn't get on this one flight and I couldn't do this other flight. And now the flight was like $3,000 more a ticket. And I was like, maybe this is a sign that I'm not supposed to do it. And I was like, no, 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 no. Your faith muscle is being tested because you have a knowing that you are supposed to go and it's happening and you're not letting anything stand in your way any longer. And that is the whole lesson here for you. So being there, I wasn't sitting there like checking my accounts. I wasn't in this thirst trap for I need validation. I need validation. You're doing that, you're in scarcity. I was there in pure delight from right when I got on the plane. Everything just started upgrading. Got to LAX, which is the airport you would fly into, Los Angeles, for my 2-day mastermind. That's only 15 minutes from Manhattan Beach. That's why Manhattan Beach has so many celebs, professional athletes. You're close to the airport, but you can't hear any of the planes. Like they literally don't fly over the rich people. It's next level. It's a very special place. Once you actually like whether take an Uber from the airport and there's tons of different hotels, Airbnbs, there's options at all different price points. Once you're there, it's a walking community. You can walk for miles and miles and miles. That's where you see me do my abundance walks on the beach, looking at these gorgeous homes, taking in all of that energy. And that's what we encourage people to do, like in the morning. Like we don't start at like 7 a.m. sharp, like corporate time. I want you to go walk and get an iced coffee, and a breakfast sandwich. I want you to walk to actually the house, which is on the sand. I want you to walk there. I want you to delight in that experience because it gets to be fun. It gets to be relaxing. It gets to be clear. In fact, it has to be. That's the problem, is you're trying to force and push and figure it out, and it's clouding everything all up and making it so much harder. I know I've done it for so many years. And I do also believe the timing of this episode and what happened on this trip, I really hope that you take it in as evidence for you. So I got taken right into the flagship lounge in LAX. And I was like, oh, like where you're escorted. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, well, this is delightful. They have like a champagne bar. And if you don't drink, they'll make you fresh pressed juices. I want everything. Why can't I have champagne and fresh pressed juice? They're like, of course you can. And I was like, I'm delighting in this. Everything was beautiful and delightful. Every single hotel, massive upgrade. And I already booked a very nice room. I wasn't booking the lowest category and playing like the upgrade manifestation game, which I do that a lot too. I didn't want to risk anything. I wanted certainty that once I landed, I was in a beautiful room. And then I got upgraded and upgraded beyond. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I love this. I'm here for this. And there was one point in Mykonos where I wasn't even on my phone that much. I was capturing content, but I wasn't like sitting there, oh, I've got to post this, I've got to do this, I got to do that. I was really allowing myself to be present to experience this, to not go, oh, I should be at least doing this, that, or the other, checking on this, that, or the other. I let all that go. And that's not necessarily easy for a business owner to do, easy for someone who's wired like me, where I can be more anxious, and it can be, I have that ingrained belief that I've done so much work around that, like, oh, if you're not working, you're not making money. And I get like that little voice in my head starts chattering. Wasn't available for it. And I had my phone connected to the Wi-Fi and I picked it up, and you know how like it shows all the notifications, and it was all filled with like PayPal Stripe notifications, like full screens. And that I'm used to when I'm like launching something, right? Or like I've debuted something, right? Like then, right, that I'm not that surprised by that. But I wasn't launching anything, and I wasn't even really doing anything. And so seeing all that, I was like, what's going on? Is there something weird because the phone's now like in a different country and it's on roaming? And so I looked and I was like, holy shit. I was like, it was like $10,000 a day, $7,000 a day, $6,000 a day, $14,000 a day. I'm like, okay, I like this. This is amazing. And then the ego part of me wanted to like go in the weeds and like look at it, and like even then wanted to check it later that night and wanted to check it the next day. And I go, no, that's not part of this experiment. That's not letting go. That's me wanting to. That's like when you guys go and like, I've done it too, where you like post like a video and you want to just see how it's doing, see how it's doing. It's like, but then if you actually detach from it and don't give a shit, those are the videos that do well. Same thing. I detach. I'm not going to make more money come in, or, or prevent something from stopping by me looking at it or fixating on it. I took my hands off the wheel and let go. And without a doubt, undeniable receipts, my highest month of every single account. I have multiple investment accounts, okay, like passive income accounts, Stripe, my business bank account, PayPal, every single one, highest month of all time of 16 years. Okay. And we've had other times where, it would make a lot of sense for that to have been higher. And the most important part is where Tiffany did absolutely fucking nothing but trust and follow that voice that said, yes, I know this seems irresponsible to book a trip like this last minute. And yes, I know you're definitely paying a premium to book last minute. You're probably paying 30 to 35% more by doing it. Yes, you could stay at a room level below and it still be luxurious. Do you really need to have a villa? Like, is that necessary? Do you really need to take private boats everywhere you go? Did you really need to buy a rare Gucci purple bag? Did you really need to buy a custom art piece, your first custom art piece from Italy that's being worked on by an incredible craftsman artist, in this glass piece that I went to an island to have designed and picked out? I mean, who am I? Like, I'm the girl who shops at TJ Maxx. Okay. And what was funny about this is when I went in to Gucci, and I was really drawn to go into Gucci. By the way, the Louis Vuitton in Mykonos, they were snobby and rude as fuck, and they didn't get my business. So that's not a vibe. I'm not into it. Like, don't be elitist with me. Like, I felt like it was like a Pretty Woman vibe, because I was carrying a bag that was definitely like a TJ Maxx bag. I wasn't carrying a designer bag, and my dress was from Amazon. And, my jewelry was very nice, but like overall, if someone's doing a head to toe judge, including my shoes, someone might go, oh, she's like from a cruise ship. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I could buy anything in this store. So we weren't going there. But I also followed the same thing in Gucci. And right away, I mean, the whole store's theme was like purple. And I was like, wow, this is for me. And I saw this bag, and this lady was trying to sell me on this much bigger version of the bag. But you know how when a bag is so unique and it's of a bold color, if you get a bag that's too big, it actually kind of like takes away from it. It almost looks cheap versus it looking like a beautiful piece of jewelry. And it was like, no, that's the bag. That's the bag. That's the bag. You have to have the bag. And I'm not someone who runs around buying designer shoes and bags. Like I have I do have a lot of nice bags over the years. I don't remember the last time I bought a nice bag. It's not because I can't. It's just that's not like a priority to me. And I trusted that and I got that. And what is so phenomenal in the results of this is that I was also willing to do all of this where that wasn't the outcome. I didn't even go into it going, I better get all of this abundance back in return, the law of reciprocity. I better make all this back and then some just by being there. I better at least break even. I wasn't putting demands on the universe. I was getting out of my own fucking way and out of the universe's way and allowing it to delight me. And when you allow it to delight you, it does. When you stop controlling, you stop forcing. And we do that out of fear. We do that out of our need or safety, out of security. And I want you to experiment. You don't have to experiment at the level I just did. I just keep experimenting at bigger and bigger levels because that's part of my job on this path, right? For you to say, hey, take my hand, you can do this, and to show you the evidence of this. Don't think for a second it wasn't a little scary when I would leave a hotel and you're like signing the final bill and it's like it's 5 figures every time. You're like, who am I? Like, what is happening? Like, who do I like? I had some of that coming in, some of that coming up, and I just kept turning it over. And it's like, no, I'm following the path. This is here for me. I'm allowing the universe to show me. I'm trusting. I am allowing myself to receive at the next level. And if you don't put yourself in a position to allow yourself to receive at the next level, you are the person who's the object in the way. You're the boulder, you're the snake, you're the giant fallen tree. You have to get out of your own way. It would be like you feeling called to come for a rare opportunity to learn from me in person. And without a doubt, learning from me and being able to apply it to your business and not just getting information, but actually application of the information, knowing what you need to do to execute in order to have that freedom level cash doing something that you actually delight in doing, something that you want to do that helps a lot of people. And you want that, then your brain goes, well, then I'm going to have to pay for a trip there. Then I'm going to have to be away from home. And then what if it doesn't work? And then what if I like don't follow through and I don't do the things? And what if I like feel like I don't fit in there and am I far enough along and blah, 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 blah. You're going to have all of that chatter with so many different things in life, anything that you do when you're walking towards a path of expansion. But if you're feeling called and you have a knowing, and it's like that grounded knowing voice, then you have to trust it. But that doesn't mean it's not going to feel delusional, irresponsible, scary, because our brains are hardwired to believing that anything that isn't familiar is unsafe. But in order for you to expand to your next level, in order for you to receive lifestyle changing cash, in order for you to get there, you have to be willing to take the unknown, unfamiliar path, because how you've been operating and the path you've been on has gotten you here, but it's not going to get you there. It's not going to get you where you want to go. It's just not. And continuing to walk on a path because it feels safe, it feels more comfortable, it feels more familiar, and avoiding taking this other path that you've not taken before, that you don't see a bunch of people on, if anybody on, even though you're being called to it, even though you need to take it. The insanity is continuing to walk on a path and expect that you're going to get different results. You're not, you're going to keep getting more of the same, more of the same. You might go like 3 steps forward, but then you'll end up 5 steps back. Then you'll end up in the same exact scenario. That's why I say you've got to make a money move. You've got to make a move to shake things up if you want to have some significant changes in your life. And this is evidence for you. And it goes back to the whole thing that I teach in my money and manifestation course, Make More Work Less, which if you've not done that, that's a no-brainer. You have to do that. That's without a doubt a must do. There's a reason why there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from that course, because it gets you to go on that path. So you're not just going on it alone. It helps you learn how to hear and discern from that voice that's going, come over here. It's okay. And like you're wanting to have all this validation of constant breadcrumbs along the way. And then as soon as there aren't anymore, you're out. Well, I got to tell you, that's why most people quit. That's why most people don't get to where you want to go, is because they have a codependence attachment on breadcrumbs. That's not how faith works. That is not how trust works. That's on you. That's where your muscle and resistance is. I'm going to choose to trust this anyway. This is feeling scary. I don't like this. This feels hard, but I'm going to trust this anyway because there's still underneath it all. When I sit and I really feel my body, there is a grounded knowing. And when you follow that, what is waiting on the other side is remarkable. I mean, I can sit here and read more and more testimonials just from 2 days at my event, and it becomes crazy, undeniable. I seriously have learned and more importantly accomplished more in my business over these 2 days with Coach Tiff and her incredible team than I have in 3 years. The clear direction I'm leaving with is worth 5 times what I paid. Karen Hodges, online course creator for beauty professionals. I mean, there's tons of them. I'm not here trying to convince you of anything. What I'm here to say is you are not going to receive your next level abundance by continuing on the same path. You're going to have to make a move and go another way. And it's going to feel daunting and it's going to feel scary and it's not always going to feel certain. And then sometimes you'll have a period where there's lots of nice breadcrumbs like I had. And then it looked like, oh my God, abort mission, but I didn't. I want to normalize that for you. Not only was this trip the most relaxed I've ever been on any trip, and I've taken so many, I can't even count how many incredible trips that I have been blessed to be on and that I've set myself up to be able to afford these incredible trips. And I was so relaxed. I was so delighted. And I mean, except when I almost missed a flight one time. That was not fun. But I still practice manifestation in that. I said, I'm not available for missing this connection. It's not happening. And then the other flight got delayed. So there was no missed connection. I was like, there you go. Thank you. To think that you can be in that much ease and having that much fun and not be working and bringing in more money than you've ever made. What else do you need to know? And that doesn't happen by sitting back and passively manifesting. Passive manifestation, though, is necessary, but it's not all passive. It's not all active. I strategically set my business up this way, but I didn't do anything special to set things up to make all this money, this level of money while I was away. It was well over $355,000, well over that. And I'm not even including all of my investment accounts. For a $55,000 trip, wow, wild. There was the ROI on allowing myself to receive relaxation, luxuriating experiences, delight, people being so helpful, allowing myself to eat what I want, do what I want, wake up when I want, go to sleep when I want, rest when I want, play when I want, dance when I want, and delight in all of it. And then the riches and the abundance are there. It's a beautiful thing. I want this for you. It's here for you. I would be honored and privileged to help guide you there. And it's equally as available to everyone. If it's available to me and my crazy ass and my stubborn ass and my overthinking, overanalyzing, scaredy cat brain, it's absolutely possible and available for you. And you deserve it. And I know you desire it. And you're also meant to have it. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. Make sure you go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind, and all the information and details are on the page. Also, don't forget to grab your free gift from me, my summer abundance walks. And that's at projectmewithtiffany.com/summer abundance.